We got a whack-a-mole contest going here today at marketvitals.io, and you're welcome to join us in the whack-a-mole. Man, hold on. Just talk to me a little bit while I retweet this tweet, because we like retweeting, not sharing. Definitely no shares or no likes. No likey.
No likey, Mikey. No likey,
Good morning,
Mikey.
Matt.
Good morning, Bobby.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
I got to tell you, I don't know what you're doing, but the diet you're on is kicking ass.
Yeah.
Because you look good. You look tremendous.
Thank you. I'm just not eating.
That's one great way to lose weight, not eat. Man, let's get right into the pop culture side of things. We talk price discovery a lot, but we also like to talk pop culture. Mick Jagger, Dave Grohl released surprise song about lockdown. And the way this reads is like, I don't know, I read it as they're anti-vaxxers, but they're
right.
It's actually an anti-vaxxer sentiment in the song. Let me read you some of the lyrics. Looking at the graph with a magnifying glass, cancel all the tours de football, fake applause, no more travel brochures, virtual premieres. I've got nothing left to wear. And then back down to we've escaped the prison walls, open the windows, open the doors, yada, yada, yada. Shooting the vaccine, Bill Gates is in my bloodstream. It's mind control. The earth is flat and it's cold. It's never warming up. The Arctic's turned to slush. The second coming's late. There's aliens in the deep state. You know, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when they were writing the lyrics.
Sounds like they threw everything in the kitchen sink at it. And really no, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're taking a stance on anything. It's just a bunch of gobbledygook.
I think they're just hiding at guys that are sick and not being able to go have fun.
Well, you know, I mean, think about it. These guys make their living going on tour, whether it's, you know, Grohl, whether it's the Rolling Stones. And even though they're old, only way, you know, again, the money is made by going out and touring, and fucking Rolling Stones love to party. So
even at 77,
they love to party. What else? You know, so of course they're sick of TikTok. I am too. Of course they're sick of anti-vax, vax, you know, it's on the market, it's off the market. Astra's on the market, it's off the market. J&J's on the market, it's off the market. I mean, and it's
right. Well, you know, you just love how Mick picks Dave, or they get together, and then Dave Grohl does like all of the work. He plays the drums, he plays the bass, he plays the guitar. I don't know who wrote all the lyrics, but anyway, it's the sign of the times. Everybody's fucking sick and tired.
We won't be seeing them in Central Park this summer. How's that?
Probably not. All right, Matt. We're going to on a Whack-A-Mole Wednesday. We're going to talk a little agriculture. We're going to talk price discovery in the grains, which seems to be repercolating, right? And I think there's a little backstory developing, just like we were early on the Arctic collapse, right? The polar vortex collapse. We were on that weeks ahead. We got a growing, and I'm sure you know this if you're somewhere around the country that is experiencing it. There's a very little moisture in the soils. This was from Nebraska Drought Monitor. Most of Nebraska abnormally dry, especially in the wheat belt. And if we fractal out, Matt, we like to do that, right?
Yeah.
We fractal in and out. And so if we fractal out, and let me share the screen. This is the United States, the whole US of A drought monitor. And there's a lot of severe drought and a lot of very dry. The whole upper Midwest, me and you both hail from that upper Midwest, and it's experiencing a very, very dry spring. Now, you know, believe me,
yeah,
I've been around.
I mean, it was a pretty dry winter, wasn't it? Everywhere in the Midwest, there wasn't a lot of snow, there wasn't a lot of precip.
There wasn't, and you know, that I think a byproduct of that polar vortex and the collapse and that incredibly frigid temperature. I mean, that dry, when it's that cold, it's also dry, cold and dry. And so they've sapped a lot of the soil moisture out through that brutal cold spell. And this is developing. And let's jump to the chart. And let me go first, Matt. As this is the corn, this is the 3-day. We had a solid, close to a month sideways, but now fully breaking out, looking like it wants to make new highs. I mean, I think we're starting to see a very dry drought season get priced into these markets. And the corn looking like it wants to visit new territory here. The beans, same thing, not quite as explosive, but for sure, still right in the middle of this congestion that they've had. And for me, the wheat, and again, this is a 3-day, the wheat fully up and off the mat, looking to recapture those up momentum levels that they spend a lot of time above. So the fundamentals are starting to play out here in the price, Matt. And why don't you jump in and take over and tell me what you think.
The one that was interesting to me mostly was wheat, because it given you a nice pullback recently, and right to the point of control here at 600 area, and today it's trading over 650. The all-time high is still 693. So and we talked about this a few weeks ago. If you wanted one to buy, this one probably was the only one that was going to offer any type of real pullback, and that's continued to be true. Corn is making new highs, not quite, but it's close to the high it made last week. Again, these are daily charts. I just wanted to bring up some longer term charts. So again, all we did is kind of hang up here, as you said, for the last 2 or 3 months, and now we're continuing to go to the upside. Beans, again, nothing new here really. No new prices, no new highs. 1461 is the old high, up again, but this is also just in a kind of a basing area. So as long as 1350 holds, looks okay. Bullish to me, for sure. And again, this stuff is all playing out, whether it's, again, and I think about Mick Jagger and Grohl. I mean, they could be talking about gates and farmland, right? What is that all about? And, it seems to me that a lot of this whole farmland grab is still about meat and what, and prohibiting and restricting
For sure.
the growth of meat.
In fact, in Colorado, there's a bill before Congress to make artificial insemination to make that like a sex act with an animal. I mean, they're really coming for the ag industry. It's insane what I'm seeing and reading about how fervent there is a part of this.
All because they want to sell you goo. They want to sell
right, exactly. Well, let's call it what it is. All right, Matt. Also, continuing on a commodity-based show here, energy. Let's talk energy, because another one of the great debates pre-election was about energy and a Green New Deal and wanting to get off of fossil fuels. And that's all well and good, but we're consuming 100 million barrels of oil a day globally. So careful what you wish for, because it's going to hit the pocketbooks of the people that can't afford it fast and furious and first.
Yeah, and we're basically seeing new prices here, new highs for crude, trading at about 62.80 right now. And well, what do I mean by new highs? Well, over the last month, those are new highs. So if you just take a look at the last 30 days, let me bring up that chart here real quick.
Because it's pretty clear to me too that this looks like it wants to make a new leg higher.
So yeah, when we talked about this, we had just been hanging around there at the 59 level, and for a good chunk of the month, and we've broken out today, Bob, and we're up here and pushing 63. There's a lot of room to roam up here, and again, looking at we came from 68, so there's a lot of room. Looks to me like we'll probably trade 64.50 next. So any dips that you see. in the crude marketplace, down to 61 area looks very bullish. And again, you've got this big base of time here, well over a month, that we just kind of, we're kind of stuck in this range of 57 to, what was the high here, to 62. So you're looking at a $5 range, which again, if you were to double that, it takes you back somewhere into the right near the old high, right near the 67s. So it's the seasonality piece comes into play also. Oftentimes Memorial Weekend seems to be a peak in crude seasonally, and they ramp those prices up for the first holiday weekend, and then they kind of play around the next couple holiday weekends, July 4th and Labor Day weekend. So that'd be something I'm watching as you get into this cycle here.
All right, let me share it, because it's how am I clear? Crystal. What movie, Matt?
I'll know when you tell me. I'm not good.
Crystal. You can't handle the truth. All right, here's the truth. And for me, it's on this moment. When we look at on the weekly, this crude from November, when it 16 November, when it first captured this up momentum level, and it just respected it the whole way. Now 5 weeks sideways, sort of, but we call it the recapture level. If it's going to really shake a leg here, it needs to recapture 60. I think it's actually there right now. Hold on. Let me look at my chart and give you the actual number. 63.36 this week, up momentum level. Write it down, 63.36. Crude closes back over 63.36. It recaptures the momentum level. And that's important to me. And we talked with Gary Morrow yesterday, right? And I don't think we emphasized enough when he pointed out that the thing that he trusts the most is the close, right? And we're both big proponents of what have you done for me lately? You can do whatever you want all day. That's fine. But where's the close? So where's the close for the week is important, because believe me, this chart looks completely different if we go up here, ping this momentum level, and then fall away from it and close lower, right? As opposed to taking it out and closing in and above that level. It's incredibly important. What have you done for me lately? Where did it close? And so that's what I'm keeping an eye on here for longer term. And then, I think you're right. That congestion, that meat of that congestion, $5 gets us back up to, 68, near $70. And then there'll be a huge argument there, and we'll see where we go from there. As always, Matt, it's an evolving story, price discovery, always an evolving story.
Evolution, a real deal.
Evolution. All right. Anything else in the energy sector you want to cover?
No, natural gas is kind of hanging around, so nothing new there. Nothing new.
All right. Let's jump to crypto, and we got a Coinbase IPO as opposed to an ICO. Let's talk about it. All right, I still haven't got that lined up perfectly, but I'm working on it. Matt, in the crypto sphere, obviously, although Bitcoin was charting new territory off just a little bit from the highs, they made a high of, what was it, 64,829. Now, I told you I was going to be out if it went to 64,250. And I didn't. And let me tell you why I didn't. Because I looked at the cross, and it looked to me like the Ether Bitcoin cross. So although Bitcoin, I want to be out from that because of the 3-day just doesn't show a lot of potentiality. Ether is telling me a different story. And then I looked at the Ether Bitcoin cross, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be out totally right now until Ether shows me that it can't sustain. So I switched. And Matt, just before we get to that, I just wanted to point out one thing that I saw.
So you broke your own rules? Is that what you're saying? Because you said 64.
No, I didn't. I evolved my rule. I was out of Bitcoin at that level.
Oh, okay.
Right?
because it did trade 64.9. So
yeah, I know. So I would
I
have,
was like, wow, Bob, Bob nailed it. Bob nailed it.
I would have banked on it.
Yeah.
But this is what I wanted to bring up. Americans pay $17 billion every year in overdraft fees. And believe me, the people paying overdraft fees are the least likely to be able to afford overdraft fees. And PNC pledges to help customers avoid. Why don't they just fucking cancel them, right? Help them avoid. And it could cost them up to $150 million. This is why people build alternative systems. And I've said this all along about the crypto space. Yeah, it's fine and it's great. Something needs to be disrupted, but will people actually adopt it? And if there's adoption, then, great. There's something that this needed to be disrupted, right? The banks rake and rape the common person beyond belief. I mean,
I've
talked about it before. Like,
I've got to wonder anymore, like how many checks are actually even being written anymore? When was the last time?
Well, enough to get 17 billion, and I don't.
It's shocking to me because obviously, to your point, there's a huge swath of America that is not even banked; they're underbanked, if at all banked. And so, and I agree with you. It's usually those that have the least amount to lose that are being dinged by these $35 fees or whatever they charge, right? For non-sufficient funds. Well, why are you even allowing? I mean, you said it before. Like, why is this even? How is that even illegal? Or rather, how is it legal? For them to allow you to write a check knowing that there's nothing there and then ding you.
Yeah, especially it's a $12 check and then they ding you 35.
Right.
The overdraft. And the other one is ATM fees and then the credit card companies. I mean, come on. They actually let the charge go through and then charge you for going over your
right.
What do you mean? Why did you let the charge go through?
Right.
And so crypto, it's an instantaneous transaction. Like you can't send money that you don't have. And actually the banks too with debit cards, like I don't use a credit card. I use a debit card. If my checking account is dry, right? The debit card doesn't go through. You got to transfer some money, figure it out.
Right.
I don't know. It's one of those things though that I thought early on, like, yeah, I mean, the banks have had a free rein to bend you over for as long as I remember. All right, Matt, I want to just jump and bring in this chart though, and let me just tell you about.
So what time does Coinbase start trading today? At about 40 minutes? What is it? 10 o'clock?
You know what? I don't know because all I could think about is shorting it, especially after I watched Dave Portnoy's rant about its $200 billion valuation. But anyway, this is the weekly Ether Bitcoin, not Ether Classic, which I brought up the last time I brought up this cross. But this is Ether Bitcoin. And, for me, there's a lot of room left on this as far as prices discovery is going on. Not only that, if it can make some noise here, there's a whole lot of room historically when you look at how dominant Bitcoin is over the rest of the field and Ether being number two. When I look at this, I just want to be involved. I want to be involved more in Ethereum than I am in Bitcoin right now. The individual chart, Ether versus the $2, showing a little bit more room, especially it was on the 3-day. Now, this is the weekly Ether US, and you can see that band fully kicking and available for upward potentiality. And also Ether US on the 3-day. Now, this is the one that I told you about, how this upper band was flat Bitcoin versus it. So that's what I did, Matt. I might be wrong, but as long as we're getting positive price action, Ether, dollar, now I'm all in Ether, nothing else to speak of.
It's another strange day, again. You got Coinbase coming public. You have the probably the two biggest performers in alt space over the last week or so. You can't trade on Coinbase, which is Ripple and XRP, or excuse me, Ripple is XRP. Ripple and Doge, right? Both of those hit new highs. What's going on, Bob? How come those aren't traded on Coinbase? Tell us, for
Well,
those,
I
for those
really
people that are all
love
frothy about
that.
Coinbase and all worked up like Davey is, what's going on? Why are
Well,
those?
the reason why I have the large don't on wanting to own it is mostly what Peter Brandt brought up last week, in that he's seeing price discovery outside of most other exchanges ranges, right? And Coinbase, they said how much money they make trading. They're trading their own book, right? And on the trading floor, as an order filler, that was in most pits, any pit with decent volume, it was illegal for you to be the order filler and to trade your own account. They made it illegal. Dual trading is illegal in a liquid market. And Coinbase's business model is based on dual trading. They're trading their book. And so I think, as this becomes public and as we move to a more regulated environment, that becomes a giant problem for them. And, not a lot of people are talking about it, but if my market order gets filled and Coinbase takes the other side of it below the price discovery that happened on any other exchange in the free world, it's problematic. And that's why for me right now, there's a lot of euphoria around it, but I want no part of it.
Well, like anything, we'll have to see how it behaves the first couple weeks, but I have a feeling that just because of what it is, it's going higher, whatever price they come out.
Well, yeah,
And again,
let's talk about the dollar, Matt.
I'm never a fan. I'm never a fan of shorting IPOs anytime in the first, 6 months, year. There's no price discovery.
All right, dollar down 13, 14 days in a row.
Yeah, dollar's been down. I mean, it's simple. Dollar's down 15 days in a row, and the SPOs are up 15 days in a row. We never go down when it comes to the SPOs. It doesn't go up much, but we never go down.
Oh.
So until we have new information, Bob, I don't know what to tell you, but it's 15 days of up, and why not another 15? Well, it's a new world, new paradigm. We never go down.
I love the inflation number yesterday. X food and energy. There's no inflation. Well, wait a second. Food and energy happens to impact my life.
Yeah, no food, energy, healthcare, all those things have gone up. So we'll take those out.
All right, Matt. Are we going to be back later this afternoon for a live stream with a guest?
I think that was tomorrow, but
is it tomorrow or is that today?
I'll have to check it out, Bob.
All right. Well, you'll let me know.
I will let you know.
All right. Fantastic. All right. Listen, visit us at marketvitals.io. And that's all I got to say about that today. .io. It's not .com. It's .io. .io.
It is tomorrow, by the way.
All right. And who do we got tomorrow? Let's talk about it.
We have Mandy at MPX Trader. She's out of Australia. Educator involved in markets day to day, and it'll be an interesting talk. I want to hear from kind of the woman on the street, if you will. What's going on in Australia? I really want to hear what's going on. That's what I'm most interested in, quite honestly.
Right on. All right, Matt. Thanks so much.
All right, Bob. Nice shorty.
Right on.